Time to chat with our TSN hockey insider, Pierre LeBrun from Edmonton. Pierre, the Oilers take a 2-1 series lead. They do it in blowout fashion, but you don't think it was their offense that led the way on Sunday?
Well, Jay, there's no doubt in my mind Stuart Skinner was the story of Game 3, and which might be an odd thing to say when the Oilers win 6-1, but this was not a 6-1 game for the longest stretch. Dallas Stars, I think, played their best hockey of the series in the second period, tilting the ice on Edmonton, but Stuart Skinner absolutely stoned them, and it was the difference on this night. And, you know, it's interesting, for a guy who lost his job for a while here at the start of these playoffs, Stuart Skinner is back to looking like the confident version of Stuart Skinner that we saw in long stretches a year ago in the Stanley Cup playoffs, Edmonton going all the way to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final. And during that playoff run a year ago, Stuart Skinner outplayed Jake Oettinger in this very series in the Western Conference final against Dallas. Are we seeing a repeat here? It's too early in the series to say that for sure. But listen, Jake Oettinger got lit up in Game 3. A lot of it wasn't his fault. Some breakaways and grade A's as Dallas cheated to try and get back in this game. But the bottom line is Stuart Skinner has been the better goalie so far in the Western Conference final. And I think it's an amazing story that he's fashioning for himself so far. Again, when you consider what happened in the first round against LA, had to bide his time. He had people absolutely questioning him again. I don't know if there's a starting goalie in the NHL that gets more questioned than Stuart Skinner. And right now, he's got a big smile on his face. He sure did after Game 3 here.
Pierre, I'm going to read you a pretty wild stat. Connor McDavid had scored just one goal in his previous 10 playoff games before he broke out on Sunday, of course, for a pair in Game 3. So it seemed like just a matter of time before the captain chipped in. But how much of a boost does he give his team when he does score?
Jay, I'm just going to tell you, there's no one in the Edmonton Oilers organization that was actually concerned that Connor McDavid only had 3 goals in the playoffs. Like, if you look at all the other facets of the game that he touches for the Edmonton Oilers, you understand that that was not the story here with Connor McDavid. Having said that, he's the best player in the world. Everyone loves to score, so I think this was timely for number 97 to get a couple here and remind everyone that this guy can put the puck in the net. And again, I thought he was fantastic in Game 1 of this Western Conference Final Series. Didn't score, but as Chris Knobloch said after Game 3, if you looked at the expected goals of his line and the actual goals, it just didn't quite match up. That's something he's going to have to give here at some point, and it did in Game 3. And for me, that was going to come at some point for Connor McDavid. Now, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, we've got to touch on him as well. 3 assists in Game 3, an absolute force on both sides of the puck. And I think especially outside of this market in Edmonton, I don't know that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins still gets the credit that he deserves around the NHL. He is such a consistent performer for this Edmonton Oilers team, and I thought he was absolutely outstanding here in Game 3.
A couple of number 1 overall picks contributing for Edmonton. As for Dallas, they allow 6 goals for the first time since May the 1st. They now trail in a series for the first time since Game 6 of the opening round, Pierre. So as we get set for Game 4 Tuesday, any positives that the Stars can take from this loss?
You know, Jay, Pete DeBoer talked about the fact that he actually liked long stretches of this game here Sunday for his Dallas Stars, and I get that a coach is going to want to say certain things to keep his guys confident heading into Game 4. I think he meant it, and I agree with him. I mean, again, this was a 2-1 game in the second period with Dallas really pressing, and I think there's something to feed from if you're the Dallas Stars here. That's the best stretch in this series for them. They still have an opportunity here in Game 4 if they could take a road game here to go home with home ice advantage. So don't count out the Dallas Stars quite yet, because I thought you saw evidence of their A game showing up here in Game 3, even if the score ends up 6-1. But certainly for them, you know, playing without Rupi Hintz in Game 3, their number 1 center, that's a pretty tough thing. But it did afford them the chance to elevate Jason Robertson to that top line. As Pete DeBoer said afterwards, that was Jason Robertson's best game of the playoffs. And they hope that's a good sign, because Jason Robertson scored his first goal of the playoffs here on Sunday. He had really been fighting it. I don't think he's 100% since he's come back from that lower body injury. But if this is the kind of game that gets Robertson going, and then they get Rupi Hintz back here at some point, he's day-to-day according to DeBoer, maybe that's the window that Dallas needs to get back in this series. But I'd be careful to write them off yet. Game 4 will be huge in that.
Game 4 will be Tuesday in Edmonton. We'll chat with Pierre after that game as well. Thanks for this.